So as you can already see, there are main differences. There's already a difference in the story with uh, with Jill. With Chris, you remember when when they arrive at the mansion, they actually it's Chris, Jill, and Wesker that make it to the mansion with Barry missing, and then with Jill, it's Jill, Chris, not Chris, Jill, Wesker, and Barry that make it to the mansion with Chris missing. Okay, so let's open this and get the chemicals that we need to fight to kill the plant. Alright, and then as you know, I'm gonna pick up these herbs. Okay, I'm gonna mix them all together. Okay, looks like I can't combine that. Alright, oh well. Then those dogs, you know, you don't have to worry about them. They won't be coming in anytime soon. Huh. Should be good. Alright, so let's go in here. And say, just like last time we removed the plug. Okay, so then now we pick up the dagger. And we actually don't have to worry about the zombie anymore. Since Jill basically stomped his head, he won't be coming back. You know, like Chris, if you remember, Chris just let the zombie, you know, crawl freely. Which honestly, I don't understand why Chris would do that. I think Jill was smarter in that situation. She actually stomped on that zombie's head and that prevents him from coming back. Whereas with Chris, he just lets the zombie be. Which I don't know. If I were in his situation, I wouldn't want to let the zombie roaming around freely in the same room that I happen to be in. Okay, so now we got the shotgun. So now we don't need the handguns anymore. And so we actually activated the trap by removing the shotgun. So we gotta try to get out of here.
Oh God, what did I do now? Wesker! Barry! Help!
Jill! You in there?
Barry? Get me out of here! The door's jammed!
Stand back! Grab my hand!
Barry.
That was a close one. A second late, you would have fit nicely into a sandwich.
Really? Thanks. But Barry, didn't you say you were going back to the dining room to find other clues? I'm glad and all, but why are you here?
I just had something I wanted to check. Anyway, we should get back to searching for Wesker and Chris.
Thanks, Barry. I owe you one.
Don't mention it.
Yeah, so that scene is supposed to be the infamous Jill sandwich scene from the original. For those who don't know, in the original, when that happens, uh, Barry says, after Barry saves Jill, he says, "Oh, Jill, you were almost a Jill sandwich." Yeah, yeah. Of course, you don't see that. You don't see that here because they revised the script to make it better because the original Resident Evil game that this game was based on, remade from, was just let's just say hasn't aged really well. The in every way, really. The graphics, yeah, the graphics, the the graphics haven't aged well. Oh, the voice acting was really terrible. It was really terrible in that game. Oh, damn it. Good thing I had that dagger. Yeah, that's actually one of the things that the game is infamous for. The really terrible voice acting. It really is god awful, and obviously with time it has not aged well. And I'm guessing the gameplay mechanics too. With the remake, they really did make it better. Cause that was actually another thing. Now that I realize, in the original, uh, the original game actually used a very bright color palette, which is really odd for a horror game. You know, you would think with a horror game you would use a much darker color palette like you see here, but no, it was really bright, so it was that kind of took away a bit of the scare factor. Uh, Damn it! Not let him grab me again. Wow. Just want to make sure I'm going the right way. Okay. Yeah. Oh yeah, right. Cause we gotta go get the collar from the dog. So yeah, this remake really is just better than the original in every way. I know nowadays with, you know, everyone making remakes and reboots of everything, people are kind of getting tired.
Barry.
Jill, got any good news?
Other than I'm still alive in this madhouse? No.
Can't say it's much safer here either. We'd better secure our escape route first. There's gotta be a back door somewhere.
Alright then, let's split up again.
Hey, hold on a sec. Look what I've found.
What?
A can of fizz. It's sure to yellow and mellow those things. It's yours. Hopefully you won't have to use it.
What about you?
Oh, don't worry. I like the buddy system we have here.
I see. Thanks. I'll take it.
See you later.
Ciao.
Yeah, with all the remakes and reboots that everyone is making these days, and you know, people always complaining about how it just prevents creator from, or it just saves creator from having to make anything original, as well as let's see where I want to go. Okay, I want to go here. As well as also, uh, as well as people have been saying that the reboots and the remakes tend to be worse than the original. This is this is one of like the few exceptions to that rule. This remake is just way better. If you wanna, I say like if you're contemplating, if you want to play the first one, you're contemplating whether playing the original or the remake. Play the remake. It's just way better graphically. It's just way better in every way, and it also adds new stuff. Um, sure, there were some things. Yeah, like for example, the Crimson Heads, believe it or not, are actually something that were introduced in the remake. They weren't in the original. So I never played the originals, so really can't say much. But I'm assuming, you know, you can kill the zombies, not have to worry about them coming back and stuff. Or at least as Crimson Heads, they'll probably come back like to life and just annoy you. But I don't think they'll annoy you as much as the Crimson Heads do. The remake also does have more connections to the other Resident Evil games, since the remake came out after Resident Evil 2 and 3 had already been made. Cause you know, obviously with the first one, when they first made it, the story was barely, you know, Capcom was just barely coming up with the universe, so there wasn't much. So this game does explain more of what happens later on in the games. Am I gonna need this key? Probably. I'd say the only reason you could really, I'd say the only reason for you to really want, to really just play the original is if one, you want to laugh at the very terrible and cheesy voice acting. And so you see here the broken shotgun is still here, the one that we used for Chris. But since Barry saved us, we don't need it. So with Chris, you know, if you do what I try to do right now, or what I did with Jill when trying to get the shotgun, he's actually gonna die. Because it's not like Barry is there and Rebecca doesn't save Jill, or Rebecca doesn't save Chris like Barry saves Jill. So that's another thing. That's another thing, as I mean, that Jill kind of has it a little easier. So we didn't have to run all the way to the side of the mansion just to pick it up, and so we saved time. And so I'm actually gonna save my progress here right now, just so I can breathe a little more easier as I walk, as I continue forward. I mean, you already know what's coming up ahead. so we don't need this ink ribbon right now. Yeah, so, and for that reason, I know the original, the original Resident Evil games, the first three. Okay, I need to go back and get the armor key. Oh, damn. Okay. So I know for a fact the original Resident Evil game, or not the first three original Resident Evil games haven't aged too well in with time, or at least the first one. I think I'm pretty well. I don't know. Maybe the second one has. I know the second one probably hasn't aged that well either. As for the third one, I don't know. That one did come out a little later. It came out once, like, better technology had already came out. But I don't know. I'm just not a huge fan of the graphics. I really do feel like they have aged poorly. The voice acting is just annoying, and then so for that reason, that's why I decided I want to play the first three games, believe me, but I'd rather wait till they make the remakes. So they already made, as we know, they already made I'm playing the remake of the first one as I speak, and by you know, they already released the remake of the second one, which I heard was one of the best. Yeah, it's one of the best games of this year that was released. And I've already heard rumors that they're remaking the third one because of the success of the first two remakes. So when I heard that, that really made me happy. I get to finally play Resident Evil as it was intended to be. Okay, and so that's when this guy comes. That's just great. So, yeah, I'm really excited. I'm really excited for the fact that Capcom decided to remake the first three, especially the second one and the third one. I know why they remade the first one. Makes sense. I know they didn't really have to remake the second and the third one, but I'm so glad they did. Just we can enjoy playing Resident Evil 2 and 3 without the terrible graphics and the terrible voice acting and honestly the outdated controls. Because Resident Evil 2 is actually different since it came out this year. I know they used the engine that they used for Resident Evil 7. And so it plays a lot like Resident Evil 7, of course. Instead of first person, it's in third person. And the original Resident Evil 2 game was a lot like this one with the tank controls and fixed camera angle. So I'm actually glad that with the remake of the second one, they made it more modern. Yeah, they use more modern controls. Don't get me wrong. I don't. With this game, I don't really have much issues with the fixed camera angles. In fact, I feel like it does suit this, at least the atmosphere of this game, since it is a mansion after all. Uh, let's see, what do I need to do? It's not necessary for me to go in here, I believe. Yeah, so I have no issue with the. Sure, it gets a little annoying and it takes some time to get used to, but you'll eventually get used to it, and it really does fit the atmosphere better. Cause just imagine trying to play. Just imagine trying to fight these zombies and other creatures in these tight quarters in third person. I feel like it really wouldn't work as much. I mean, it could. Uh, but they would really have to change the layout of the map just for that to work. I feel. So, what else do I need to do? Let's actually go in here. Let's actually go here. But I'm really glad that they're remaking. That Capcom already decided to remake the third one, and I believe they're already working on it. Of course, the only bummer is since Resident Evil 2 just came out, the remake came out this year. I think we're gonna have to wait quite a while for the remake of the third one because, you know, I don't want to rush the game. Believe me, quality over quantity. And to make a quality game, it does take time. I believe that Resident Evil 2 first began development in 2015, and it just came out this year, 2019. So that's 4 years. So I'm assuming Resident Evil 3 won't come out until probably 2023 or 2024 or 2022. But hey, it'll be worth the wait. I know it will be.
Richard! What happened? You're wounded.
This whole place is a killing zone. There are monsters.
What did this to you?
A big snake. And it had to be poisonous.
Poisonous? Richard, hold on.
Bring me serum. I saw some, but didn't bring any.
I'll go and get it, okay? You're gonna make it.
Thanks.
So yeah, then we ran into Richard again, and of course this time Rebecca isn't there with him. It's just him by himself having to, which I think sucks. He, you know, at least with Rebecca, she was able to treat him, take care of him, at least kind of make him, at least, you know, tend to him while Chris went to get the serum. But for Jill, he has to wait on us. He has to wait on us to bring him the serum. So it sucks. And that scene right there that happened is another example of the original, or in the original, the scene is really laughable due to the voice actor, or due to the voice acting, I mean. 'cause in the original, he's all like, "Oh, Jill, there were monsters and demons in the house," and then I don't know where he's like, "Ouch!" it's really funny and it's really so laughable. Um, just yeah, the origin that just shows you how the 90s were. 90s were such a different time. People tolerated different things. I mean, have you ever seen a lot of the games back in the 90s? Like, I mean, I'm talking about like the mid 90s, or I guess even just the 90s in general. It was a very, I don't know, the 90s era of gaming, I feel like it was a very experimental era. Because that's when we had things, uh, hmm, that's when, 3D, that's when you had 3D polygons arriving for the first time.